Welcome to Tran wins Baldur's Gate 3.
Smoke. Something's burning.
I have no idea where this wagon came from. We just know that they're heading to Baldur's Gate. Are we to believe that they came from the Emerald Grove? Where the tieflings are just sort of refugees? Druids who don't want them there? Alright, searching this body will make her angry, but there's nothing really on there. But if you wanted to search the body, you could just cast this minor illusion and she'll wander off to go look at the illusion. What we're going to do is we're going to get another inspiration point. It takes a while for everything to load because of all the fire and debris and stuff, I assume. But I did click on her. If you go to your camp, the event is done.
He of the unsleeping eyes, grant me the might to carry this burden. Grant me the faith to face darkness without fear.
We'll let the prayer finish.
Steel our blades and temper our hearts for the battles in this life and next.
To die for a cause is noble.
He should never have been here in the first place. I'm the one that talked him into joining the Fist.
What happened here?
A massacre. Drow and goblins slaughtered the lot. Please, just leave me be.
And then we get Shadowheart is inspired.
Allow us peace in this plane and beyond. Teach us care when we would be reckless. Teach
I
us
hear shouting.
certainty when we
Someone
would have
needs
doubt.
help.
You can go to the camp if you leave a person behind. You can even leave the zone. Because there is another map zone here. And if you walk into that different loading cell, again, the event is over. This is a place that's on fire. You should try to resolve this as soon as possible. But if for some reason you need to go somewhere else, ungroup, and then leave someone there. Right now, this is our party.
Very well.
Lae'zel will get the next inspiration here. Come on, guys. Work your way around this fountain. Come on. Now, you do normally have a strength check, but we brought Will because this quest involves him. Oh, before we do that, actually, I don't think guidance will work for you for this. We're going to try to command, drop, 55% chance, weapon dropped. She dropped Svartlebee's Woundseeker. We need to be able to steal that without anybody noticing. Realistically, we could probably just continue this event and then pick it up.
Keep pushing! Duke Ravengard could be inside. On count of 3. 1, 2.
Ravengard? He's here.
Yes! Now make yourself useful! Push, damn it! Push!
You heard her, Will. Get in there.
Inside! Hurry! We don't have much time!
Good job, Will. You get Soldier Chain of Command.
Hello! Can you hear me?
We hear you! Stay where you are! We don't have much time! Fight out!
The way this fire typically works is when you cross a cell, it starts fire. So this is not actually fire. Yeah, it looks like it's hot, but that's just timber. We'll consider it background decoration. But, however, once you walk in front of this casket, it lights on fire. There is actually a way that I found to get around all of this. Not that it's particularly dangerous. First off, I mentioned that if you go back to camp, the event is concluded with basically what you would consider an unsatisfactory ending. But what we can do is we can ungroup, and then we can return to camp, which is what we're going to do now. And we swapped out the remaining 2 evil characters for Gale and Karlach, who are mostly good aligned. The place did not resolve or conclude because we left a crew member here.
Ready and willing.
The way I found to not worry about the fire so much, if you're concerned at all, we're going to summon the Raven. The Raven does not take fire damage. As we walk here, this area will light up. See that? How it just started then? So we can essentially set all of the place on fire by walking through it or flying through it, and then we can put it out afterward. So we're not actually getting our character to receive, we'll say 1 to 4 burning damage over 2 turns. That's pretty much what it amounts to. It's not a terribly large amount, so we can see that has lit up, just as I said. There's not really much fire in here, though. I think there is another fire zone that happens here later.
In here!
You can actually smash this, and I'm not actually sure what it does, so I will save and we'll smash that. It might kill the person we're trying to rescue, or it might give us another way in. You can also get to the person you're trying to rescue by going into this room, and then jumping up after that. The whole point of this Raven is to just basically trigger all of the fire spots. Now that we've triggered everything, we can just have Gale for free.
For now.
Cast Ray of Frost on everything. Casting that on a piece of fire will typically resolve all of the fire that it's attached to. And now I don't need to put out everything on camera. I'm just putting out stuff that would maybe impede our progress. Or do us some damage. Because their characters don't always walk in the most intelligent manner possible. I am very curious about this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and we're going to save and try that. I'm not actually sure what this does. It might free her. It might save her. That's fine. If we were to take the platform upstairs...
Can't slow down.
Let me show you that. None of this is actually that bad. There's a free path, but once you cross this area, this fire spreads out in that direction. Over here is a backdraft area, which will start igniting if you open any of the doors leading to it. This one can be opened, this one can be smashed, and this one can be smashed. We'll worry about that in a minute, one problem at a time. Alright, so let's send Karlach. Now, she has a sword instead of like a hammer, but let's see if her sword can do anything with this. Well, I should probably say first. I forget to say. Once you smash this, the counselor that you're trying to rescue just hops on down, and then they leave. And what occurred during the first take of this is the NPCs were having a dialogue without the player character, and there were no options I was allowed to pick. They just talked to each other. Except Counselor Flork, Will or Gale, you're just going to warp there? Sure. Counselor Flork wasn't even looking at Will when she was talking to him. Before we do that, however, we would like to get a little more information. So we're going to cast Speak with the Dead on the people around here.
Best be on my way.
This drow is special, so we'll start with him.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Why were you at the end?
Raid. Retrieval. For the Absolute.
Where were you trying to take the Duke?
Take to Moonrise Towers.
How did you die?
Archer. Roof. Should have seen.
Who are you?
Zayrin.
What was your profession?
Male.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up drow culture right there. We have that one and this one over here. Be careful looting the bodies. If you search this other Flaming Fist corpse, do it when this Tristan is not looking.
When we would have doubt. So it is spoken.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Why were you after the Duke?
Absolute. Wants him.
How did you die?
Fell. Dagger. Neck. Stupid.
Did you leave any survivor?
Slaves. Good. Raid.
Who are you?
Krog. Hunter.
Where did you come from?
Camp. Temple. Close.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Asking them if their raid succeeded, they don't answer you, and you waste a question because they died during the raid. They don't know if it succeeded.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
What happened to the Duke?
The corpse remains silent. She doesn't know.
Also, unfortunately, this seems to be one of the cases where you're not allowed to dry loot a body. You can't take the plate armor from these guys. That's lame. Do you know of any survivors?
Dead or dying.
Who are you?
Gauntlet. Marilla. Flaming Fist.
Where are you from?
Baldur's Gate.
The reason why I said that Drow was noteworthy is because if you search his body, because our character is a guild artisan, we get an inspiration for this. Drow leather armor.
Drowcraft armor. No magic left though. Sun's too bright.
Tran is inspired. And there's one more corpse we're going to talk to. This will be useful for a little side quest that'll happen very soon.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
How did you die?
Finding husband Benrin inside. Door locked. Trapped. Fire.
By getting that piece of dialogue, we now have more to say to the NPC up ahead. Did you have any valuables nearby?
Dowry for sister in barn.
Where is Benren?
Inside room. Top floor.
Why were you at the inn?
From Eltergard. Traveling. Sister's wedding.
Final question. Who are you?
Mirrorless. Farmer.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
So we'll go and prime this next section.
I can't move.
We don't want to break the door too fast. So we'll hit it a couple times to soften it up. That's good enough. I'll probably do 2 damage when I hit it, but I can do at most 6. There's lots of food and such around this inn, but I'm not going to worry you about me looting it. This next segment right here, and I know that we have the main quest over in this direction, but this next segment right here is easiest done using turn-based mode. You don't have to worry about these guys catching on fire because the fire doesn't actually spread randomly. As I pointed out before, it just sort of spreads in pre-allocated cells. Even if you were to get damaged, don't forget that NPCs just sort of regenerate when they're not in battle. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Gale blast this with Ray of Frost. And then we're going to turn on turn-based mode. Everybody dashes across. Actually, I don't need everybody, but that's fine for right now. In case I fail this perception check, I suppose it's not bad to have everybody across. It just means I do have to take everybody again. And the Raven I don't need to worry about because it won't get burned.
Is that blood? No.
Right. He's not quite through the fire right now, but that's fine.
Breathe deep and move.
And he will. I must have forgot to bring Will along. Here's where that dowry is. Check this haystack.
Looks like there's a chest buried in that hay.
So what's inside this chest that's so important? 54 gold and a dowry ring worth 20 gold. This quest resolution, whether you give the ring or not, Again, I can't speak for what will happen 20 hours later in the game or anything, but this quest resolution is you can get approval from certain characters depending on what you do. That's about the only reward for this is approval. However, there's a bug in the game, at least in the current version I get, where if you don't turn in the ring on the first dialogue, you don't get any approval points. I say it's a bug because it's a slightly different dialogue, so they probably just forgot to write it in. I don't know if that really qualifies as a bug or not. This we'll explore later. Over here is pretty cool. I didn't bring any potions of speak with animals.
Let's march.
So we'll just have one of our other characters do it.
Ever onward.
Monsters everywhere. Kill.
The ox is only worth 1 XP if you kill it. Look at me. I'm not a monster.
No. You're not one of them at all. I was ready to run you through. My mistake, friend.
Did you kill the goblin in the stable?
Yes. It was screaming, waving around its metal. I made him stop screaming.
Do you know the dead ox outside?
Him? He was the biggest. Now I'm the biggest.
It's alright. What happened here?
An attack. Monsters. Little ones and taller ones. They took the shiny one. He killed many.
Should mind my step.
That wasn't particularly important. I just wanted to talk to the ox. I like that he is now the biggest ox.
Can anyone hear me?
Right, so we have to get across. You can also try jumping over, but I have had the AI just get burned anyways as they try to follow you. I find that this is the most reliable method.
One move ahead. Still breathing, despite everything.
Help!
I'm going to make another save here. I don't want to break the dialogue that happens next.
Soldier. Moving it.
And she just hops on down.
Come. I'm afraid proper thanks must wait.
Inconsistently, she sometimes initiates dialogue with you when you leave, and sometimes not.
Might be useful.
Oh, I don't want to grab the sword right now, because they will be alerted that there's a theft in the area. It's ridiculous. See, she initiated dialogue with me this time. I think it might happen if you're in earshot when she leaves the area, and if you're not, then it leaves it up to you to initiate dialogue.
Councillor Floric, are you all right?
Will, by the main God, what's become of you?
A story best left for calmer days. Now breathe deeply. Are you in pain?
Scorched throat. A few hairs singed off. Nothing a bit of time and fresh air can't cure. Gauntlet, a new duty calls. Drow have taken Grand Duke Older Ravengard westward, if my eyes and ears can be believed. Report to the Manip and send for reinforcements. We must find the Duke.
On your command, Councillor.
No, it can't be. You mean they've taken my...
Yes, Will. The Drow have your father.
A Grand Duke, you say? And what is his rescue worth to you?
I'll empty every last of the Council of Four's coffers if I must. Will, you must hold little love for your father. But please, find him and return him to the city. Baldur's Gate needs him now, more than ever.
Trust us to see it through, Counselor.
You can get an impressive 10 approval from Will by agreeing to search for the father. Why entrust this to me? You have others at your command.
Isn't it clear? You travel with the Blade of Frontiers. Who might I trust if not a legend? Who might rise to the moment if not Ravengard's own son?
If you've gotten the information from the corpses, you can say, the drow took the Duke to Moonrise Towers.
Moonrise Towers, along the old road. That place is cursed. Few could survive there, unless darker forces are at work. This was no random attack. The Grand Duke was their target.
I owe no fealty to some upper city toff.
It is not fealty, I ask, but a great favor on behalf of our city. Grand Duke Ravengard is the invisible force holding Baldur's Gate together. Without him, the city faces collapse. In fact, I fear that may have been the intention of those who abducted him.
Also, killing her, the only thing of consequence she has on her body is a potion of greater. I'll head west and find Duke Ravengard.
Thank you. When the Grand Duke returns to the city, he'll hail his only son, a hero. Approach the towers with care. The land itself has been swallowed in shadow. I will seek reinforcements and join you when I can. Remember, Will, courage is found in the battle against fear, not in the defeat of it.
So Father said. I won't soon forget.
Fist to work.
And then we get a choice of 3 rewards just for rescuing her. And we get folk hero rescue from the flames. But trying to read this, we learned that the Grand Duke was captured by drow and taken westward. So we can choose either the Sparky Points, which is a trident that can be thrown. When the wielder deals damage using this weapon, they gain 2 lightning charges. I'm assuming if you throw it, it doesn't count you as a wielder. I don't know what would happen if you are holding it and then you throw it. If there's some sort of mechanic counting that, only because of different instances in game programming. I know that's hard to explain, but it's considered like flags or triggers or Boolean expressions that says like this person is wielding it. And yeah, I'm babbling at this point. So the Jolt Shooter, when the wielder deals damage using this weapon, they gain 2 lightning charges. This one sounds pretty cool, except for the fact that my main bow user or ranged attacker, Asterion, I give him dual hand crossbows. Finally, we have the spell Sparkler. When the wielder deals damage with a spell or cantrip, they gain 2 lightning charges. So I think we'll go with this one. The running around fist are gone. They would actually notice if I stole this. They would actually be able to tell. Normally Will has a conversation. Maybe I misremember, but I thought he had an exclamation mark after this. It may have been that I just took too long talking to her. Let's go ahead and discuss with Will about Duke Ravengard.
Busy times. Maybe later.
What? That's very, very strange. So I think he would have the exclamation mark if it weren't he considers busy times.
Shit. You can put distance between you and yesterday, but you'll never leave it fully behind. Father's words. Hard to argue with them. Floric spoke true. I'm a Grand Duke's son.
Well, he's not just any Grand Duke. He's Ulder Ravengard, the most influential Duke in the city.
If we say the choice is clear, we get more approval. But for the video's sake, I'm going to pick another option. I can't trust you if you keep so many secrets. First Mizora, now this.
I know. And you're right. My story is one of 2 men. The Blade of Frontiers, a man hunting the fiends who prey on the weak and claw at the coast. And Will Ravengard, a memory of a memory, a man who belongs to the past. I wanted you to know the Blade, not the shadow he left behind.
What do you think the drow want with your father?
I've been asking myself the same question. What makes a Duke of Baldur's Gate so interesting to the drow? Even the houses of Men's Oberanzen would have little use for my father. No, this is no drow plot. These absolute nutters, these true souls are behind his abduction. His absence alone will sow chaos in the city. If they were to infect him, he could lead Baldur's Gate to ruin. All the more reason to find him. The Absolute has seized not just my father, but the future of the Sword Coast.
We'll go and pilfer this. Now, there is still that one Flaming Fist chick here. Again, even if you were to kill them, they don't really drop any notable loot. That is the only good loot. Still lagging pretty bad in this area.
So it is spoken, and so is it done.
Quiet as a moonbeam.
This will probably go to our character. This will mean that I almost never miss, maybe. The wielder gains a 1d4 bonus to attack rolls with this weapon when attacking creatures that have taken damage. The only reason I found this was because I killed all of the Flaming Fists, just to try to script out or plan out the best footage. In this case, I figured that the best way is go and do the quest and command her to drop it. When I think our character is ready to smite, meaning Paladin level 2, we'll probably put this on, but for now, I'd rather benefit from the shield.
These boots have seen everything.
Help! Anyone? I'm in here!
The heat coming off that door. Opening it could spell trouble.
Let's back everyone up a bit, actually. I want to trigger this next fire right here by walking across. You can see that immediately starts spreading. Very convenient. Okay. And we'll try to wound that door just a bit. I don't want to break it open. It's not vulnerable to frost, is it? One more should do, maybe?
Can anyone hear me? Please!
Put Karlak over here.
Honk honk.
Still lagging pretty bad, I apologize. No, I hit F for sure. Just want to break that down. Okay, this is going to start immediately a turn-based timer. And you can also initiate it yourself, but this is fine. Anything else I need to do before we begin this? I don't think so. I think I've got everything handled.
I'm in here!
I think it should be safe actually to put our characters over here. Let's put Gale by this door.
Very well.
Marching.
It didn't start the timer, but I'll start it. Let's go and open this door. And then we'll immediately start by just frosting the... Each of the characters are carrying 3 bottles of water I can throw at any point. Some of this fire is just appearances. Like, right there, that's just appearance. But the bed is on fire right now and eventually put out. If you aren't that worried right now, just know that the gilded chest here will break if you were to leave the region. This is really the only thing you need to grab. There's maybe a little bit of gold here. I think there's like an empty bottle here, or maybe it's just random loot. But this is the main thing you need to grab. But this is not the dowry. We found the dowry in the barn. It's not specific to Karlak, it's specific to Barbarian. environmental turret. That means that the fire will regenerate, and you just got to keep putting it out, and that's about all there is to it. It will be randomly scattered throughout the area and can even enter the hallway, but it doesn't really extend beyond that. However, it does pretty much torch the entire both rooms. So Gale's on fire duty right there. Will, we can just pick it up. If you don't want to worry about lockpicking right now, you can just pick it up.
Never a dull moment.
Shouldn't be really any other consequential loot in the region. Yeah, just an empty bottle.
Fire! Hurry! Get this thing off me!
Barbarian strength. Grip the wreckage. Fling it aside.
Yes! You did it! Thank you. Thank you.
Normally he has dialogue saying like, I can't see a thing in this smoke. What do I do now? And then you can tell him to leave on his own or follow you. He's not currently in follow mode with us. Maybe it's because I'm still in turn-based combat. I'm not sure. Maybe it's because my main character is nowhere nearby. That's probably more it. This is still the second turn. So he stands up.
I slaughtered everyone. Mary.
He's trying to keep the camera panned on him, but again, the camera just insists on focusing on anybody and everybody. Yes, I have disabled dynamic camera. It still does. Will get you out of there. Gale, I think we're good with you.
No one's stopped me yet.
Toes.
Oh, Mary. No.
Alright, so this next section here, remember that the first time you talk to him is the only time you can get approval with certain characters. We left Will to hold down the fort and replaced him with Shadowheart and Asterion. Asterion, I need to get as much approval as possible, so every opportunity I get, I take that.
Mary. No. Gods, no. You should have stayed. You should have been with me.
She was trying to get back to you.
No. Why didn't you run? Why didn't you hide? This is all my fault. We were arguing. She ran off. If I just kept my mouth shut about that bloody dowry, she'd still be here.
About that dowry, pretty sure I found it.
You did? Please, she'd want her sister to have it.
If you pick the other options for more information, the dialogue tree pretty much ends. And again, in this version of the game, no approval. I am keeping it. Consider it payment for saving your life.
You? What? Fine. I hope you choke on it.
He can afford it. He's got one less mouth to feed now.
I'm overwhelmed by your selflessness.
Wow, that's new to me because I normally had Lae'zel in this party when I was running all my tests, and she has her own dialogue about it. I think we've completed everything we need in this immediate area. This is where we need to take care of next. row. It didn't really help that much, but whatever. Not enough movement speed. Ah, fine. Can I throw another bottle of water? Realistically, it's probably just easier to take the damage. Jeez, game. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if the fire would just go out, but I know that they want to keep the NPCs running around doing a bucket brigade. It's not going to burn me, is it? Another fire spawned in front. You don't have any on you. Now, if you don't like the blood-soaked look or dirty look that your characters often get when they're adventuring, or you can just inflict wet status on them, such as walking into a riverbank or anything, and they'll clean them right off.
2 steps at a time. What to do? Light on my feet.
Alright, so we left this area intentionally because if you entered this map loading area, it would finish...
Someone's moving around in there.
Moving objects. You can move objects around, stronger characters can move heavier objects. It would finish this region about the fire. By passing that perception check, that gives us an advantage when talking, not advantage as an advantage dice roll, but advantage as in we get better options when we talk to this next person. Can't wait to just get out of this area. It lags me so much.
You spot a man crouching between the shelves, just as he spots you.
Bugger!
If you do wait and listen, dexterity check essentially, fail it, he goes ahead and blows up the place. We get this opportunity to really spot him and have a slight edge on all of this because of that perception check before we entered. We're going to recite the passphrase. Little serpent, long shadow.
Oh, helm dwarves. I thought you were flaming fist. Well, down you go then. They'll be on us soon, so if you're looking to trade, you best be quick. Entrance is hidden behind the wardrobe. Here's the key.
Oh. Yeah, although I pretty much consistently fail dice rolls all the time, the game is very generous in allowing you multiple ways to check.
Said you could pass, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Thank you for the extra 40 XP. These are not good guys anyways. No loot. Now, the fact I'm killing them in absolute cold blood, that's probably an evil thing, but I didn't say that this was a good playthrough. This is really more of a neutral evil playthrough.
If not over, then through.
If you scare off the guy and he blows up the barrels, you can find 7 bananas in a chest that gets placed in front of this wardrobe. However, it's not worth it because there's all those barrels that's good loot. Take that with you. Then you can use it later. Such as I could use barrels of water instead of bottles of water, though the bottles are a lot lighter.
Nicely designed. Secrecy always inspires ingenuity.
Okay, I have had this next section bug out a little bit. The first time I did it, I took down careful notes and went slowly. Second time I did it, I was going through fast, and they were hostile to me even though their dialogue was all the same. We did another party change, and there'll be a couple of them as we progress through this little cavern. Let's go ahead and open up the chest we found in the flaming room. This chest does get destroyed if you progress the events without opening this chest. However, if you were to let the fire just rage on its own, it wouldn't actually destroy the chest. I was clicking a bunch. You probably saw the little index finger on this thing move. Note that I have a 10 to 13 bonus. There we go. So inside this chest, the hammer craft. When the wearer jumps, they deal 1 to 4 thunder damage and a 3-meter radius upon land. I feel like I could really go for some sort of super jumping build with the Eagle's Rage. Maybe apply that to Lae'zel. That'd be a lot of stuff to apply just for a gimmick. Still, maybe there'll be more items that we can use with that. There's also a 6 camp supply wine bottle and 14 gold. This by itself is pretty much as much worth as Raphael's banquet, by the way. Stop walking.
Moving in.
Now, my computer's kind of a potato, so it always takes a little while for it to kick in. Guess in the meantime, we can just turn off these lights.
All right.
That's far enough. What's your business down here? Answer honestly and maybe we'll kill you clean.
I know the passphrase, Little Serpent, Long Shadow.
That just tells me you know our codes, not why you're here. I won't ask again.
The funny thing is, I always pictured a Homer Simpson thing where he steps back in the bushes, but if you pick stealth and you succeed, they become hostile. If you pick stealth and you fail, you can still do intimidation and persuasion to avoid them making hostile. So this is one of those cases where success at an option is a possibly worse choice. We are going to intimidate, because that's just how we roll. Stand down, I go where I please.
No, you don't. Still, takes steel to swagger in here. If you're half as tough as you think you are, I might have a job for you. We've disarmed the traps. Come down.
The reason why we brought Asterion was so that we can get this inspiration. Shadowheart would have also improved, but she's got over 70 points of approval. We don't really need to work on her. Other characters will have priority over. Let's go ahead and real quick, we're going to swap out Asterion for Will. We get so many of Asterion's inspirations, but he still has the least approval of the things we do.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
Remember that they've disarmed the traps because we are being peaceable with them.
Step carefully. There's a trap.
You steal anything,
What's that?
you're dead.
These two guys that I believe are brothers, they have really good dialogue, but it gets interrupted by everybody else speaking around them, and it even cuts off their dialogue. So it's going to take a while to get their good barks, but I'll include that at the end of the footage.
Wonder if the fist pay better than this lot.
I'll be rescuing them using a paladin option, just to be as insulting as possible to this artist.
You, the way you handled Zaris, you're not one of her thugs. You need to buy me.
Why are you selling yourself?
Selling myself? I am not some lower city coin lad offering you a tumble. I am an artist, and my patron will reward you for my rescue. Tenfold, whatever ransom you pay, I guarantee it.
You're awfully generous with other people's money. Who is this mysterious patron?
As far as you're concerned, she may as well be the coin maiden herself. But there will be time for questions later. Please, speak to Brem. I need to see the sun again.
You hear how there's no voices?
Well, don't you cut a fine figure? Want your portrait done? If you have the gold, my pet artist will make you a most heroical likeness.
If you pick one, you cannot use the paladin option. We'll need to pick two. Now, these first two options are only there because we talked to Oscar first. I can't seem to get an actual portrait of our character at this juncture, perhaps later, when we're in Baldur's Gate, if we are ever allowed to get there. We will pick number 2. He's not a pet, he's a prisoner. Let him go.
Are you looking to buy him? I'm open to offers, mate. Threats? Not so much.
Slave keeping's bad for business. Besides, aren't you guys leaving in a hurry to avoid the fist? Wow, that's awesome.
All right, mate, all right. No need to get arsey about it. Take the money, bastard, if he means that much to you. That is crap would sell anyway.
It's watching your artist paint.
I made a bucket of coins off him.
I can't say I've ever been bought before. How much did I fetch? No, don't tell me. There's nothing so depressing as learning one's true value. Well, you should at least know what you've paid for. I am the Oscar Fevras, at your service.
Don't worry, the Oscar Fevras didn't cost me a single coin.
Do you know, of all the indignities heaped upon me in this place, that might well be the worst. It seems you've made quite the profit. My patron will see you rewarded. My betrothed, I should say. Assuming Lady Janeth still wishes to marry me after our little, falling out.
What happened?
She offered me a future. And so, in a fit of madness, I told her of my past. Of the woman I'd loved before she found me. Love still, in truth. She was less than pleased. I made a timely retreat into the countryside. To paint and clear my head. To choose, I suppose.
Now, you didn't see it or even hear it, but I believe I failed like a history or investigation check right there. So all it really gives me is the option to say like, oh, you must be that guy who ran off. A truly horrifying dilemma.
Indeed. One to split the very soul. But I dare not dwell on it any longer, lest I weep. And we have your reward to consider. Once I have made my way safely back to the city. Say, I don't suppose you could spare some coin, could you? Ease the discomforts of the road some.
I can spare a little.
A hero to the hilt. Seek me out in the city, truly. Beneath my brush, you'll live forever. Until Baldur's Gate, then.
And we got our inspiration point back. Let's get the good characters away, because at least one of them, I know will disapprove of this next thing I'm about to do.
Wonder if the fist pay better than this lot.
Unfortunately, Lae'zel, Shadowheart, and Astarion don't seem to approve of this. This next section, these crates are really obnoxious. I think you sort of
Bucket of coins off him.
you just sort of phase into them.
I'll take you to a museum.
They got paintings in them.
A few, yeah.
Not many can talk their way into a Zentarim outpost. I could use someone with your skills. Interested in a job?
A job. You were ready to kill me a moment ago.
Still am as it goes. Take it as a mark of respect. But right now, I reckon we're better off friends than enemies. You interested or not?
Lots of explosives. Planning a war.
Cleaning up? We had a steady operation going here. Then someone kidnapped a duke. Right on our bloody doorstep. The Flaming Fist will want someone to blame, and I don't plan to leave anything pointing our way.
This job you mentioned. What's involved?
Some of our people are missing. More importantly, so is their cargo. Find them. Keep them alive if you can. Failing that, just bring that shipment back. Unopened.
What's so important about the cargo?
I'm offering hard coin, not idle answers. All you need to know is that I'm willing to pay a hideous sum to get it back. Unopened.
Alright, I'll do it.
Good. Backtrack along the road to the east and look for a wagon. Bodies, the usual. Time was, no one dared touch a caravan bearing our colours. Find whoever did this and remind them why.
Yeah, somehow I don't think gnolls are going to learn any sort of lesson there. Okay. You cannot steal the reward she's going to give you, which is a crossbow, a magic one. However, you can give her the chest and then steal it back.
Lamps, lads! Sealed lamps! Don't
don't want open flames where we're going.
Which I think is good, and I hope they don't patch that out. I think it's ridiculous that you can't kill, steal, or take things that should exist in the game. They shouldn't just vaporize because you turned it in as a quest. Let's move everybody so that we can get Will up here. Not that he's really necessary for this next part.
Any luck finding my people?
Remember, don't open this chest, at least not now. I found them. They're dead.
God damn it! What about the shipment?
We'll give her the chest.
The Sharber's black bones, you did it! And still sealed. You're a goddamn wonder. Here's your coin. Actual professionals are rare. You ever want more work? Come and see me in the gate. Our trader can show you some of our more exotic items now. But don't delay. This place is likely to be rubble soon.
If you attempt to trade with a trader before this, so you don't lose anything either way, you don't get access to the best stuff. Not until you've done this mission. Then he'll show you the best good. So we get the Herald, which is a heavy crossbow, which forces the enemy to pass a charisma saving throw or be baned for 2 turns. It's going to probably just go in our piggy bank and never see the light of day. As for the chest, we're not going to actually try to steal it right now. Hold on, I meant to ungroup. But yes, it is.
Strip this place bare!
We can see here, it's right there. Caravan Strongbox. We will take that before we leave. Let's take a look at these goods. There's one item that is so good. At least to me, because I like to take everything, so. Watch out for these crates. They basically just absorb you in. I need to hop back out.
Did I see you drawing something earlier?
This guy has nothing to say.
Can do a better job than that paunch you saw.
I guess we could still hear him out.
Keep it up, little brother. Might be I can sell you someday.
You seem a nice soul. I'm glad we didn't have to kill you.
You don't want to keep Zaris waiting. Believe me.
Let's see what's for sale.
Something I can help you with?
I want to trade.
Of course. Got some interesting stock for a friend of the family.
First off, he's got new kinds of dyes for me, which is cool. I'll be messing with that. Gale, for example, this is the Poisoner's Robe, but I gave it, I think, the swamp green color. I'll have to take a look at my notes, but yeah. I spend some time messing with dyes on my characters. First off, we got the Jolty Vest, which is another lightning charge item. When you take damage while you have lightning charges, you can inflict shock on the enemy. The Giant Breaker. It gives reeling, which makes the enemy, it says here, -1 to attack rolls. The Titan String Bow is really good. We're going to hand this probably to Lae'zel, or maybe even, yeah, probably Lae'zel, because Karlach is throwing stuff. This is a longbow, which gives me additional damage equal to strength modifier. The Hail of Thorns, we'll just slap this on as an extra spell we can cast. Gloves of Thievery, advantage on sleight of hand checks. That is the prize item here. Rupturing Blade, which kind of an interesting weapon. It has a double-edged ability here. Searing Blood. Cut into an enemy, dealing 6 to 11 bludgeoning damage and an additional 1 to 6 fire damage, while you yourself take 1 to 6 slashing damage. I suppose you could combine this with, say, armor that is resistant to slashing. Like this one's a superior material, you take 1 less slashing damage. It looks like, I think that's really all that's interesting here. This is just a non-magical set of drums. I haven't found any magical instruments, so I did steal Lahala's loot. I steal everything. Yes, so this is something that you definitely want to get. But these, yes, the Gloves of Thievery.
Pleasure.
So with that, we are done in Waukeen's Rest. I'm not sure how many episodes this will be. I was originally planning to run everything from Knowles to here as one episode, but it looks like it's taken a lot longer to get all of the dialogue, explain all of the features. Maybe I just need to rush it along. I don't know. I kind of hope that being able to show you some perspectives that you might not have seen on your playthrough, that this series will hold your interest. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you'd like to see more of and what you'd like to see less of. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Baldur's Gate 3. I'll see you next time.
What's wrong with the artist?
Besides the bleeding obvious, he misses the sun.
He what?
Needs light to work, he says. We had a chat. Turns out he needs his eyes more.
Did that artist really paint all those things?
Says he did, yeah.
Why?
Says his muse made him do it.
Who's that then?
Gods, little brother. Read a bleeding book.
Here, make your fella draw me something.
You got coin?
Yeah, alright, fine. But who are you? His muse?
Don't pretend you know what that means. What kind of drawing you want?
Birds.
Like, any kind of birds, or...
Pretty ones, with colours and stuff. I miss watching your artist paint.
I made a bucket of coins off him. When we get back to the gate, I'll take you to a museum.
They got paintings in those?
A few, yeah. Did I see you drawing something earlier?
So? Can do a better job than that paunch you sold.
Keep it up, little brother. Might be I can sell you someday.
Oh.
Like Ma always wanted.